Welcome to the stream. We are not playing Tekken today, but we are teaching people how to beat Xiaoyu today. So I filmed this live. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Good to see you. Probably came to this video because you're wondering how to beat Xiaoyu. Now, I always made guides on how to play Xiaoyu. I've never done a guide on how to actually counter Xiaoyu. So this is for you anti-Ling specialists out there so that you don't get this clowning Xiaoyu beating you in ranked. So, I'm not the best Xiaoyu, but I can teach you a thing or two. So let's just jump into practice mode. I'll show you some of the flows. I'll show you the counters that I'm aware of. They're not easy. Even if you know the counters to them, it's hard to just do them. So you do probably have to practice them too, obviously. But if you don't know what the hell is going on, you got no chance.
Get ready for the next
so,
battle.
Let's get to it. I will show you my favorite ones. My favorite newbie ones. So firstly, let's turn off the Farcarum. What's up, Gattagal? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so we're gonna have a bunch of Street Fighter people join for now, but we'll teach Tekken first. Okay, I think the first one to show is the throw. So obviously this throw is a combo, but if I do this and you don't block that low there, it will be guaranteed follow up with that. I will get a guaranteed follow up. It's a setup for Xiaoyus, but for like you don't know how to play against Xiaoyu, and that happens, then you are going to die. Now, if you just stand like sit there like that Farcarum's doing, that's actually good. But if you do like a tech roll, the tech roll sets up like the Oki setup, so to speak. So we do it again. It's purely from this setup here. It's usually after that. If they turn and do this, the frames there are plus 14, right? And plus 14 means that this thing here is guaranteed, which is into blue. Now, if that's near a wall, you're gonna get wall combat as well. It's like shreds your health. So keep an eye out for the Xiaoyu doing a back roll turn here and be prepared to block or parry low. Now, the Xiaoyu can cancel it. She doesn't have to go low. She can try and cancel it and try and get a sneaky launch on you, or cancel it and then try and hop kick you. But as long as you're blocking like fuzzy ducking it, you should be fine. Alright, next one to watch out for. So from Hypnotist setup, alright, this one, I usually do it from this combo. So if I get my combo like this, I have my normal combo, which I can do like this, right? That's option one, but sometimes against people that don't know, I'll do this. I'll like, wait, we'll do like this again. I'll do this one. And then I'll go into Hypnotist. Alright, now why is Hypnotist dangerous there? Depends how far you are, but usually that will set you up for this. Okay, now why is this dangerous? Well, firstly, if I do that and you block it, it's a slight plus frame. It is a high, pretty sure. You can like duck it. But that's not the dangerous thing. The dangerous thing is what's going to happen next. So if I was in Hypnotist and I did this, plus 8, but that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is the cancel, and then she's going to be back turned, and then she's going to throw you. So what you got to look out for here is, how do you counter the throw? Do you just spam 1+2? I don't have to do that particular throw. I can mix it up, right? So if you ever see a Xiaoyu go into this, and it can be from here too, and does that, be prepared that you might just get thrown. You may just be getting thrown. Now, if you think they're going to be doing this move here, cancel, you can hit him out of that cancel if you see him do that spin, but I don't exactly know if that's going to beat the move you do. It could. So that's not the spot where I would actually counter it. Where I would counter it is here. So when they do this move and they go do the throw, you want to punch them out of the air when they do that. You want to hit them out of the air. Yeah, you could guess and duck and all that stuff. You could probably react and duck too. I see that often, react and duck and launch. But you can also just jab them out of the air. And then I think pretty certain jabbing out of the air you can get a full combo from anyway, because I'm floated. So that is Xiaoyu cheese number 2. Another Xiaoyu cheese is a Xiaoyu constantly getting plus frames and then doing back one on you. You know, every time you try and take your turn and I do this, just bear in mind that if you block that, I'm -12 and I'm punishable. Sometimes -10, but -12. So if you ever see that happen and I block you and you block it, then you want to call that one out. The other way is this: if I hit you, you're plus. So even if I stop your offense at this, you're plus. Now, it's like Yoshi Flash. How do you beat the Yoshi flash? Well, you kind of start... This one's a little less dangerous because I don't get a full combo from it. And there is a way to go into back turn from it too, like that, by the way. Where I'm +1. So I can change the frames. So you're +1 there, I'm +1 there. Which then means that I'll try and do some risky stuff. Alright. But the best way to call that out is this. Every time you think the Xiaoyu is going to do a back one, rather than try and take your turn, just do a backdash one time. So if you do a backdash whenever you think that back one's going to come out, she'll whiff it because it's got like no range. And then you can get a free launch. So that's kind of like, just need to treat it like a Yoshi flash. If you start noticing the Xiaoyu doesn't like know how to get out of your pressure, so start spamming back one, which is what I do a lot, just when I'm not sure. Just start noticing that pattern in the fight, and then when you think, set up your like route again, and then when you think that she's going to do that back one, just do a backdash back one time and then go in. Alright, cheese number 2. This cancels so low, they can go into a throw. Just bear in mind, it'll happen quick, but your same situation, you can like, obviously jab her out the air. Another one that they do, or I do, is this. You'll try and block the slow low, right? I'll cancel it and then I'll launch you. So you want to handle that by like fuzzy ducking. You want to like duck the low but stand up quickly. Now you also want to be careful of this, that they don't follow up with the hell sweep after that. So you kind of want to go like down, up, down, down, up, down, and then back up, just to account for all these. Now, if I decide to change my timing and not do the hell sweep straight away, I have a lot of risk because I'm back turned and I can't really block very well. I could do that, sure, but it's risky, you know. So usually it'll be like instant, you know. I'm kind of reading out that you're going to be extra defensive, and I know I'm not going to get this, but I'm hoping that you don't think about that, you know, or I'm hoping you don't think about this stuff. All right, what else can we do here? Other Xiaoyu things is this thing's delayable. If you ever see a Xiaoyu sidestep, she's pretty much only got this move and this move, you know, or she has to go back into her normal, like, her normal stuff. But her sidestepping moves is like this and this. And they're kind of close to the same frame, so it's a little bit of a guess. But just bear in mind. Now, if you notice Xiaoyu's like doing this a lot, you know, just be mindful that if this thing counter hits you, that's a full launch. Alright, next cheese. AOP. Unblock. 1 + 2. I am -1. You will take your turn. I will power crush. Watch out for the power crush. Or you will try and jab at me and I will slow low under your jab. Or you'll try and jab and I'll AOP and launch. Alright, be careful of this. Or you try and sidestep and I call out your sidestep. With either this or this. So just be careful of this move, that watch what I do after it. You maybe don't want to take your turn straight away when you're hit by that, just because you want to like pay attention to what the Xiaoyu's going to do, because if I power crush, it might beat your mid. If you sidestep, I might catch your sidestep, so you need a sidestep and be careful, like ready for a low block, or sidestep and block back to be able to block this move. It's a cheese. It's a cheese. Everything I can do after this pretty much reactable. Sometimes Xiaoyu's will even do this and try and launch you off like a sneaky sidestep or something. If I think you're going to jab back at me, I'm just going to go AOP. I'm just going to go AOP and then try and launch you under the jab. Or I could even like... I could even just like... You can't really duck, you know, but I technically could. I'll just spam AOP. Alright, that's one cheese. Another cheese. What another one did I do to win? This move is punishable. This move is punishable. This move is punishable. This move is punishable. A lot of those are launched too. You want to look at the frames that I got over this way. Well, this way. Just so you can see what they are. If you do punishment train, you'll see them, but be careful. Alright. This is important. If I hit you with that and I go into AOP, this is guaranteed. So if you ever see me do that, I have to do a forward input to do it. But if I hit you like that, guaranteed. You can't do anything about it. But if I don't hit you, I'm -5 and I'm in AOP. You probably gonna get free launch. Like, I really can't do anything. I could try and like quickly stand up, but you know, you have a good chance, because if I decide to take like still a turn here, like, everything I'm gonna do is gonna be 5 more frames slower, which is kind of crazy. A lot of people just let me do this, so then I'll just spam it. This move here is minus 12. It can launch you. This move here is a high. You want to duck the second hit. Now this one here, because you're only +1, depending what you do, and because it pushes you back a little bit, a lot of Xiaoyus will try and cheese you and hit you with that. So if you see that and you miss the high, just see what they're going to do after it. Sometimes I'll do this move too, which if I do this move, it's like 11 frames. It will like tie up your jab, right? And this counter hits. That's something to be aware of. Alright, another one. This goes into AOP. So if you ever see one spamming this out, just be careful that it's not just purely a orbital. It's also like other things can come from that. I don't really use it that much, but I just think it's important to know that that transitions. This transitions into a back turn. This transitions into a back turn. I can manually go into a back turn, which is slower. What else? There's a bunch of ways to get in the back turn. This goes in the back turn. And I think that was the main ones. I guess technically, if I jumped over you, I'd be in a back turn too, but that's kind of rare. So the back turn stuff is important. Pretty much Xiaoyu's whole game is to push you back. So if I push you back doing this, see that spacing that's existing? There's a good, maybe less of the case against Farkram, but there's a bit of a spacing trap against certain characters. So if I do this move against you, the first thing I usually do is try and spam that immediately, because what I'm hoping is that you do like a move that misses like that immediately, because a lot of people think that it's their turn, but you're +9, you know, it's not quite punishable. It is technically safe. So what I'll just do is I'll just try and like call out the spacing trap because you think you'll have to punish it, right? And then I'll hopefully hit you when you're whiffing. Doesn't always work, but like sometimes Xiaoyus throw it out just to see how you react, you know? Or if they do it and they notice you like to hit like jab after it, they might throw it back at you later in the match and then they'll hit you at the launch, you know, or they'll go back and then hit you at the launch. Because I could do this. You know, I can dash back and then hit you with a big launch. But I am kind of calling out that you're going to hit into the space. Spacing trap, important to know. Another one. What's the other one? This is kind of a spacing trap. You know, sometimes people do this. They'll go forward and then they'll sidestep and then try and hit you on the counter hit. You know, push it back a little bit, sidestep your jab and then try and counter hit, particularly if you do a string that doesn't track. Bit of like a situational call out, but it's good to know. But the more dangerous one is this. I'm -2 here. It's not the best spot, but I can cancel back and block. I can down back cancel, which creates a spacing trap ready for a launch, you know, which is very common. A lot of people know how to handle this one and I generally get hit. I can though also do this. I can go into an AOP duck. And the thing with this AOP duck, if I'm crouching and I go into AOP, she's going to duck further than what she will if I just did that. So she'll actually bounce more. And that duck there goes under like lows. This is the more dangerous AOP, this one. But to time it to go under a move's hard. But if you do it like this, there's a good chance you probably duck something. In which case, you duck something, you can launch them. So just be careful of downfall 1. The other thing of downfall 1, I can sidestep. So if you're doing something that's a little bit linear, just be mindful that the Xiaoyu has a lot of options here. She can sidestep something, she can back cancel, she can block back, she can also power crush, you know? And then she can, if she's really dangerous, she can like throw moves out at you too, right? Depending what your frames are versus hers. A lot of the back turn stuff, all the good stuff, it's kind of slow, like 16 frames, 20 frames, this thing's 13 frames, but this thing's negative if you block it. The quickest move is this one, which is 10 frames. So, and it's a high. There's nothing special if it hits you, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's probably the only one that you could probably think about that's like low frame. That might be worrying for you. But most of the time, Xiaoyu's probably gonna try and like fish for the counter hit. Fish for the sidestep launch, you know, so you could probably just chill here and just see what she does. She might throw you, and she could throw you differently. She could do like that, or she could do like the actual jump and cancel. Obviously the jump you know how to do, but this one here, just be mindful. If it looks like this, like that, or like, you can't even do this one. There's only 2. If she's not gonna jump, then you know that it's either gonna be 1 or 2 break. I'm pretty certain. You might want to check them. But just be prepared that you are in a situation where you could also get thrown. So there's a... Chilling out is cool, see what she does, but be careful of a throw. Just make sure you're ready to break it or duck it. That's the main thing there. And I guess the thing for you to like counter the Xiaoyu is you want to put her into these spots and then do your down back cancel on Xiaoyu. And then just drill what moves are going to hit her when she does that. And then what moves are going to work when she does the block. What moves are going to work when she does this one, you know? What moves are going to work if she sidesteps left, when she sidesteps right, you know? Or left and right, wrong way around. If you get power crushed, well, you know, what's your punish for that? Those are or how you beat it. Those are your main ones to deal with. Some characters don't have the issue, a lot of their moves will hit them, but yeah, you just gotta be careful. I technically can do that, but it's slow. I can do this too, I could roll under something, but this doesn't beat a lot of options, it beats some options. It will beat a high. So I could go like this, you know? So you just gotta be careful of this move. Now, if you happen to see the Xiaoyu do this and you block that move, she's minus 11, know you're punished for it. There are some characters that have like really big punishes for this type of thing. Other one, from back turn, this thing is cancelable. I'm minus 16 when I cancel. If you think the Xiaoyu is gonna cancel, you wanna launch her before she finishes the cancel. So you wanna like launch her in that moment or stop her in that moment. She can do this. She can go into an AOP. So just make sure that what you hit her with doesn't get beaten by that. But it's so slow that it's usually just good against people that let you cancel a lot. So that's one. She can stop halfway and go into a lows. She can go into AOP. She can finish it off. And it's a delayable string. If she finishes it, she's minus 13. You want to punish it. So you could just wait and see what she does. But if you wait and see what she does, then she might start trying to mix you up, you know? Try and mix you up with all this stuff. But it's a good one to know. The other one is this. You want to duck that high because it's +3. And a lot of Xiaoyus, if they start seeing you jabbing after getting hit by that, they'll just throw that out and they'll trade with your jab and launch you. So you want to duck this move. There is a mix-up on it where she goes mid and you will fall over if that hits you. But that's way less of a problem than getting hit by the plus frame. This thing here, if someone doesn't react to it, I get mad like mix-ups on you. This is such a good way to win. You'll see a lot of beginner Xiaoyus hitting that. And I mean, I still do it because there's a lot of people don't react to it. Like there's a lot of damage coming from that. So yeah, watch out for that plus frame. That's probably the most deadly stuff from back turn. Oh, last one. This is a cheese. Alright, so if I manage to do this, I'm plus. Don't press on it, because I'm going to try and spam this at you and counter hit you. It'll turn it into like a 14 frame move. I can also try and gamble that. A lot of what I do as a Xiaoyu is I will risk stuff. And if I'm doing that, I'm sure there's other players doing that too. You know, so I know that this is launch punishable if I do it, but I'm banking on that you're going to try and take your turn almost immediately when I launch you, you know, and same for here. I'm banking that you don't know that's +2 and try and jab me in back turn or something like that, and then you get launched. That's a quick launch, 11 frames with that plus frame. So either know the frames and do a move that's lower, or just be careful. And just be a little bit more patient. Maybe don't take your turn immediately, take the move after. And I would say the patient game against Shay is probably like the biggest strength to try and beat her. Because, yeah, there's mix-ups, but if you're ducking the really dangerous stuff like that, you know, and not letting her get these things, or like, and punishing these kind of stuff, then what a Xiaoyu's gonna do, it's gonna look like this if I block or... You know, they'll try and cancel and mix you up, right? But... I mean, if you're blocking everything, eventually you're gonna reach a point where you'll be like, oh, I know that move, right? And then you'll know how to react to that move. So maybe this is your move. You're like, ah, I know that I'm +2 here. I'm gonna take my turn. Or maybe you see the Shay constantly doing a cancel like this in front of your face, right? And then you know, ah, I'm gonna wait until she gets to that spot and I'm gonna launch her. Or you see her do this, you're like, ah, minus 16, gonna call that out. Or you get to this, ah, she likes to do the lows after she does that. So this is like a common flowchart, you know? That is all a common flowchart. Or this. You know? Trying to launch you basically, or get you in something dangerous. But if you just wait, a lot of times that's the most frustrating thing, because a lot of this stuff can be reactable too. Particularly if you see 2 in a row. So if the Xiaoyu wants to try and like trick you, it's way harder when you're just like playing patient. Because you know what her pokes are? This, 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 this. I mean, you could argue that is too. This. She's got them, but it's not like other characters. You know, some of them are a little bit slower too. So if you don't play the game of like hitting into these like big, easy, powerful moves or getting launched by stuff like that, then you're gonna be like, you're gonna find it really easy. You're gonna shut down a lot of Xiaoyu's like setups, because you're not. The whole point is to set out a mousetrap, put some cheese on it, and then catch you with it. But in this case, if you don't take the like cheese, then there's no trap for you. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you're trying to play out against this character. What's up, Karu, Wanglord, Mars Summer? Does jabbing Xiaoyu during the little jump she does before she throws float her? Yeah, it does. Good question, sir. Okay, what else? Blue. If you get this far into blue, standing. Alright, this move here. 1, 2, 3. The third hit is sidesteppable. For some reason, a lot of people don't know that. Third hit sidesteppable. The Xiaoyu can do this to catch your sidestep, but you can block it. You can actually sidestep and block that in time. You know, it's just an adjustment. It's a mid, by the way, so you can't duck that last one. Xiaoyu can do this. She can start crouched and launch you by holding down when she's doing the activation. So she can automatically be in a crouched position, or she can just like chill. Now they're usually going to go and use this speed of running to go into this move, or go into like, they'll probably do it like this too. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2, then do it, just to see what you do, to see if you sidestep. Or they'll go immediately into this move. Okay, now other cheeses I like to do to beat someone in that position. So you just want to be mindful that sometimes they might go low. They don't always have to do risky moves too. You know, if I think you're gonna duck, I can try that. So like, it's the same mix-ups that other people do in other characters. There are risky stuff, there are safe stuff. Different Xiaoyus will do it differently, but just bear in mind, you'll see this a lot. You'll see this a lot. You know, that one is kind of hard to sidestep because it's quick, but it's possible too. It jails too. It jails. So yeah, you want to sidestep that blue thing if you see it. If you see the 3-string. Alright, what else we got? I feel like there's more here. Oh yeah, this here pushes you back. I can also turn and create more space. So I can turn and create more space, and hopefully you whiff, and then bam. It's really good if I hit you, because I'm +7. It's not so good if you block, because I'm minus, you know what I mean? What was the other one? This move. Alright, the poke from range. +7 if I hit you. If I counter hit you, -5 if you block it, and if I counter hit you, it's like I get a guaranteed follow-up, basically. We're gonna do that. Play a counter hit. +13, which then means pretty much these moves are guaranteed. So just bear in mind that if you ever get hit by this after that, it's probably because you got counter hit with this move. But the big thing with this to be careful of is the sidestepping after it, and then this. The sidestepping and that. If you try to take your turn immediately and she twirls away like that, you might actually whiff into a space, and then you're going to get launched immediately. And Xiaoyus will usually just do this. They'll just assume you're going to like whiff, basically. They'll just assume that you're going to whiff and do it. So you might actually get lucky if you notice a Xiaoyu that does this, you know, she's probably going to auto do that button. In which case, if you just block that or get ready for a whiff punish, you'll be good to go for a launch. So it's a specific one, you won't see it straight away, but just bear in mind any space thing that you don't block, and it can happen anywhere. Like it can happen from this too. You know, they can try and turn, but the most effective way for the twirl is when she's in back turn. So any move that goes into back turn, just be careful of the twirl back to that twirl. This one here, just this manual turn, is not so much of a problem because it takes so long. Like if you were waking up and I do that in front of you, I can like easily get counter hit. That's how long it takes sometimes, or launched. But you know, if they get into this position, then they can move. You know, they can turn. Other ones, I don't know if these are necessarily cheeses, but people aren't aware of them. Xiaoyu can cancel like this from a crouch. And so what can happen is they do this, or they'll just go into their back turn offenses, you know, safe ones. It can be really intimidating, you know. But again, they're going to go into some sort of flow usually. So you just want to call out the flow, but be just mindful that they can do that, and they can do that. They can do this to that to this to cancels. They can cancel this move, which is +1 to you if she finishes it. It's a high. It's actually got really good wall carry too, and it splats against the wall. But the cancel, -16. That's a pretty common one, and it also has a lot of range. They can do it from ages away and try and throw you. So you just want to be mindful of this move if you start seeing it, that she doesn't have to finish off a string here. She doesn't have to cancel either. She could just do that. Alright, what else we got? I think that's the main ones that I do. Oh, okay, now like these ones are kind of like Hail Mary ones, but they're ones that you got to be aware of nonetheless. So this move here, I'm +8 if you block it. Being +8, if I do this move, that's a 10 frame move, right? Now this pushes you back. So again, if you don't know that's plus and you try and hit into it, I can get it launched from that, and it's way more dangerous position than this one. Because in this situation, you're plus. In this situation, I'm plus. But what I like to use it for is like here at the wall. If I think you're not going to press, I'll go here. I'll get my plus frame and I'll set up this, which it will be pretty much everything you do if you decide to take your turn. In which case, you're going to get counter hit with this. If you get counter hit with that, let's do it properly. I'm +14. +14 guarantees that move, which is a wall splat. Which gets like all the Oki for Xiaoyu. Pretty dangerous. There's also another one. So if you're blocking, we'll go counter hit. Not set. Block all. Okay, if I'm like all the way over here and I do this. Okay. I can do that and just stop, right? And go into AOP, and I can do that and just be like this, right? But be careful of like a shotgun. That's what I call it. Where I'm going to try and roll under one of your moves, right? Maybe it's an electric high, for example. You know, and then I'm going to try and launch you. Or I'm going to try and roll in and try and throw out this 13 frame move at you. So if you like kind of like freak out by this and try and click a slower button, you might get like counter hit launch there. So just be careful that if she decides to roll at you, again, just have a move that you know works against that if someone decided to do that. She can go low here, that's reactable. She can launch you from that. That's negative. That's negative. That's safe. This takes forever, but it's plus for you. This is a launch for the Xiaoyu. She can get like a combo, just bear in mind. You know, all this stuff. That's a good wall splat, by the way. She can get this. Now why this one's bad? The pushback. The pushback. More space, you know. The pushback. And she can make more space by dash backing. Like, dashing back too. This one here, you can duck it. You can duck the second hit. But again, if you don't, there's a little bit of a spacing trap here. Not as good as the last one. She's got a hypnotist like parries. She's got parries. Just be mindful that she can parry and stuff like that. I want to show you stuff she has, not necessarily that I have like a solution for these because they're very specific, but there are like the flowchart stuff definitely can be solved. They're like sidesteppable stuff definitely can be solved. Xiaoyu sidestep left. This stuff can be sidestepped, that can be sidestepped, this can be sidestepped, this can be sidestepped. That is all linear. This is linear. This is not linear, that tracks. This tracks slightly, but I'm negative. This tracks, obviously, but it's a high. And it's slow. This kind of tracks a little bit, but not as much as some of the moves. So yeah, back turn stuff, quite a lot of it is very linear. So what we like to do is usually sidestep with you. We'll assume you'll sidestep, and then we'll do the move just to compensate that you might decide to not stand still. So you want to be mindful that, like, I believe it's sidestep left against her, but sidesteppable moves, look out for them. If I did it this way, I'm -2. If I do it really close, I'm pretty certain I can throw you. Might not work. Might have to be somewhere else. But there's a throw here too. I don't know how to activate it against the dummy. But there is situations where that will turn into like a guaranteed throw. But I don't know how close I have to be and like what the character... Maybe he's too tall, I don't know. Usually I do it near the wall. But there can be scenarios where this move doesn't always get the plus frame. So I might actually get like lucky and do something better. Alright, then you got the last bit of this is if we take the fulcrum to the wall and then we make him block everything. Let's assume that I'm going to go and get a wall splat here, right? And then you're going to do a get up where you're gonna side roll somewhere. Okay, so if I get my wall splat, you know, and I do this, if I do that and you like tech roll it, because if you're mashing your tech roll, that throw, unless you're ducking whilst you're mashing at the end of it, that throw you're probably not gonna break because it's a 1+2 break, right? So you like want to be careful of when you get wall splat and then they do this move and then they do that thing and then they go into that throw, you want to be careful about mashing. I think the counter is you stay ducking or you can hit him out of it, I believe. I'm pretty certain you can like hit him. But yeah, it's usually tech rolling is the issue there for people. Like they'll tech roll into the throw, but because they've been mashing their button, they'll accidentally mash the wrong throw break is the big risk there for what I've seen. And then they get thrown with that big throw, and then they get put in that setup that I showed you earlier. So that's pretty dangerous. She can also do this. She can also like delay it and be forward, and then she can get a guaranteed that, and if she does that, she can get a guaranteed that, and then she gets a like more stuff, right? So there is guaranteed damage there, but every character has it. But I'll just let you know, there's like 2 scenarios. One where she does it like from this angle and she'll do that, and then she'll do that. Or she'll do that into like some sort of like oki thing. Or she'll stay forward facing and she'll do the forward roll. Depending on which way they do, they'll just go to a different oki route and you kind of got to take damage. But if you see the throw, you can kind of avoid that. So that was another one. There's this one too. This is like a -4 move on hit. It's 12 frames. But the good thing about this is Xiaoyu's in like a crouch position. So if I really want to be gambling, I could like do a launcher. It's a slow launcher. But if I think you're going to take like your turn with a big move that's slower than that, or that's a high, I'm going to try and launch you out of it. Now I can also do this. I can go into the AOP duck, which is the super duck. She does the big duck because she's already crouched. So then I'm gonna like duck whatever you retaliate with. So that -4, even though I'm in a bad position, it's not my turn. It's kind of encouraging you to take your turn, and hopefully I can avoid it, you know, and do something. She has a taunt that can go over lows, but I don't think that's too much of a problem. A lot of Xiaoyus are going to try and snipe you from distance with certain moves, particularly if you whiff. She's got good like range on some of her launches to hit you from far away. You know, so if you extend your hurt box too much, then and they're privy to it, they'll try and catch you. And also it's just sidestepping. Like if I think that you can sidestep a lot and that you don't like to block back after sidestepping, they'll just throw this at you to try and catch your tracking, you know? This is a plus frame too. This is a plus frame, very linear, easy to dodge. But again, she's in AOP, she can duck after it, she can do AOP things. You want to avoid this by sidestepping it, but I think a lot of people know that. It definitely gets sidestepped for me when I try it, but it exists. But they can do other things, they can go like this. What was it? They can do this, I think. This poke, but it's not the same. They can also do this move like really, really close. You know, they don't have to be all the way over here. It's just like that. You can get it pretty quick. The key, I think, is like dash, dash, and then that. Next one is this move here. This move can counter hit. This here is slow, but it can counter hit. And if it counter hits you, it's a launch. Pretty much any counter hit's a launch. Pretty much anyone is a launch. That one is. I don't know if this one is. That one's not. That is a launch. This one is a launch. Now, that reminds me, the last bit that I teach you for the Xiaoyu. If you ever get hit by this move and you don't tech roll, see that, how it misses? See how that misses? Watch what happens when you don't tech roll it. What if we do it again? Bam, bam, bam. Big combo damage. Etc, etc. Like, you can do it properly, but that's all because you don't tech roll. And that can happen in any situation. This move, if you don't tech roll after it, you can get hurt by the re-pick up. That's the important one to look out for. I think you're going to see that in higher ranks because it happens in combos. You can drop a combo and do that and then try and re-pick it up. There's also another way, which we've learned recently, which you can go like this and then get like the pick up again. There are like two moves that do it that I've either been told about or found. This one, that's all fake because if you were to tech roll it. So this is guaranteed here, but this part, where is it? The one where she does this forward movement, when she does this move in the air, when she does that re-pick up, that's the one that, it's a little hard, but that's the one that she can then follow up with that in the combo. So, but if you're tech rolling, that's not gonna work. Like, tech roll didn't work. Do this. See what I mean? Doesn't work. But without tech roll, it re-picks you up. And then that one too. This move, they can pick you up. It's a little hard to do the pickup, but it can happen. You can get launched from this safe launcher, so that one's kind of cool. That's pretty much it. Like, I showed you pretty much everything that I know about Xiaoyu in terms of the cheeses. Obviously, I showed you the easier ones to counter. The later stuff is a little harder because it's like if you block it, it's not like she's gonna get mad punished from it. And a lot of it, like, that's a quick move, right? And she's only minus 10. Like, it's, yeah, she gets punished, but the fact that she can get a launch out of that if you don't block it and you don't block it and you don't tech roll is pretty, like, worth it for her. Obviously, she's got all the evasive movements and stuff, but a lot of people cover this AOP. Like, it's not the problem. It's the spacing traps that are the problem. It's the randomness of her, like, pickups that can be the problem. You know, those are the main ones. It's the counter hits. Those are the ones that are the big issue. There's other stuff here, like the dancing and stuff. Like, that's obviously super annoying, but if you know which one's used when, and you know what's going to beat that particular position of her, like highs obviously aren't going to work. As long as you do something that's going to hit that, you're going to be fine. A lot of her transitions into that either is manual or she's going to be negative unless she hits you, you know. This one here, she's -13 if she goes into that. So like she's going to get launched if you know what you're doing. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully that's helpful. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. But as I get better, I'll try and do more ones. Probably more the advanced stuff. But hopefully that will help you beat Xiaoyu. At least seeing some of the like little setups that Xiaoyu main does against people. And yeah, if you find anything else that you come across that you don't know how to like handle, then let me know what it is. And I'll see if I've like come across it or not. Or ask some other people if maybe they do it themselves. But I'm kind of looking out for new stuff that works against people. And yeah, just look at replays basically and try and break apart why you got counter hit, why you got launched, why a move evaded you, you know, why you got thrown. And you're probably going to find that there's a spot that you could have avoided it is a lot of the time. Now really good Xiaoyu is going to be quick. They're going to be really quick. That's a different ball game. That's going back into normal Tekken. But at least as beginner Xiaoyu stuff, you'll be able to handle a little bit now. Anyway, GG's. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.